studio ha oye chairman for Legal and Governance Committee. In the various committees are a year Juma Kabomu Etro NPP 2024 Manifesto. On a chairman for the committee I share legal issues, for legal education, legislations, constitutional review, the issue of good governance, corruption, and all of those issues. No committee I share on a chairman or that one. No, Abekansa studio ha long time lecturer of the law Ochradie the Ghana School of Law or a former director of the law school enti wakwadre emra edwumadie mu papa mama na kwaba na afei yemfa nkomo no enhyehyɛ so boss akwaba na tsen bibia boko Adumia crying kakranka. Great. Meaning sir mo committees no mo flag bearer di mudin betrujo, and that was some 4 or 5 months ago.
Yes.
Yeah. Ain't as chair of a committee, you know, na wajuma potty and say wa na utru bibi ana say ojije other views from Nkrofo.
Yo, be that's it. Akwenya with your mommy.
Sure.
Well, continue. A lawyer for Kukudam said the SSM used to tell me. Now you broke do me a son.
13.
You broke.
Okay.
Former attorney generals and privilege. I mean, I say, Yamodemi to I know. Say, me share. Na obia bien fa emra. Yen trust Juma de ye bi as that time secretary kra ene Gary ni Macron secretary members bi to say Obi Amwa Atachia Jogate Professor Tefa omina yenyina just me coach ye Gloria Oforibuedu enti na eye ejuma ye ni say yenhwe enyema ekoso ewo yemras legislation APA justice legal education na yenhwe de yaye na yemfa adwemra na de say yemfa adwem foforo embra enye de debia ye no because yaye niam bebre but edru brebia say ye koso sa bia na ya the same resource entino yenye bibi ye be kan say ade ye bolder ye bold enti flag bearer na ehun say constitution na ye we aboye bebre 30 years ni why are there as compared to the 22 months ni why are there nanso so woka say o hwe no sanso no one said maybe there is a serious governance issue, maybe there's a need for a deeper review of our constitution untimi and solve the governance problems and you know so o can say yenhwe ni base a year about the constitution nankasa say na ya try be say best but we should go deeper than because the na say it doesn't anymore na ya veneer but the substance still remains and the idea my say Ghana must admit that we have governance issues. And the governance issue sometimes come from the constitution, which is the framework. And to say Baku and they say the footprints of government is too much. Constitution a camia say o kreti papa bibia papa na so dem. So you have a president ona papa bibia ona so dem post bia ona so dem and you be no president bia no almost 6,000 people
appointments
until the my say or say the footprint is everywhere and it's too much because in law and in constitutional law we say power corrupts. And if you give people more power, they become more corrupt. And therefore, how do you prevent it? And BBA, the kind of say, you be a comprehensive review of the Constitution.
Now,
and say you can only do it on bipartisan and consensus way. Because if you do constitutional review on the basis of a manifesto of a party, you lose.
Yeah.
But if you do it in the interest of the country, you win.
That's true.
So that was our mandate. And BBI is from that perspective. A better constitutional review based on a broader consensus, stakeholder participation. We are not going to rewrite the Constitution, but you will never be a critical. You, na Ghana for you now some form of we are sure said when we be a constitution CSOs who be political parties you who be you be say maybe we will gather all those and make sure say we all will sit down na ye proposal a back cut across but not a simple manifesto idea say and the woman say a better lead, you know, and the initiative, no, but we will wish say a better consensus base. Now you answer to say, to be honest with you, constitutional appointments maybe a review now you reduce the footprints of government. Not certain key institutions be a reduce.
Intrusion of the executive.
Because why should the president be involved in government appointees in Asante Chief Central District Assembly? Only more. But because he will swear to abide by the Constitution. And do mean Kazema obey. Bia, send him away in Abeba. Manifesto no try not Dawson. But implementation detailed in a the framework ideas and the basic one is a comprehensive review by admitting there's a governance problem
with the Constitution.
There's an issue. Because a appointment of MPs as ministers, one advantage, one disadvantage. And you say,
well, one of the things I may say say I'll come for us to deal with more proposals for constitutional review vis-a-vis Juma, the Constitutional Review Commission. The report is already there. The government then issued a white paper. Subsequent to that, the Constitutional Review Implementation Committee was set up. Where we are now and what you propose. But first, I think the Ghana for Brina episode motse LLB students across the country or more the ambition to study law or more a Ghana School of Law currently as we speak the only episode motse and there was even a demonstration on legal education reforms in our country. Mo proposal for legal education in this manifesto day.
You better say say so can legal education na idea edama kumaso sabio atramu fie dunu enum ko fie dunu sia amedi timo de call retirement ye proposal na menka say wo hwe the other party say this year omo manifesto omo year 2021-2025 people's manifesto omo capture bibi ewo about a Nema almost which is almost similar or identical. But the only issue and made me war in say homo time omo ye na 2015-2016. Minya kwenya. Say I propose I made the come out. In fact I presented it to them. But
to the government then.
Yeah. Then made the koi ankusi. But I say ne omo kan but I'm say we almost 72 pages na but they have a very edited. I wish people should not concentrate on highlights. We should read.
Get the main documents.
As we speak, we make 72 page Makai, 42 page Makai, the 2021-2025 Makai. So as a proper discourse and yes, we tuna highlights. I don't believe in highlights.
In the highlights.
I believe in reading the. The proposal is simple. You see, legal education, professional, is at the crossroad. yenya bold solution. You better on say ya. Sabi 2009 we introduced the quota system. We introduced multi-campus system. And they introduced entrance examination. And then walking. And also the lead to demonstration.
Yes.
What should be a bold solution? How do you resolve it? I was law school there. But from 2009, I've been consistent. So if you look at the tangent corner, we have reached a stage that the status quo cannot be maintained.
It cannot be maintained. That was
not at all. Because from one law faculty to now 19 to 20 faculties of law and counting. When you say Pentecost University,
must start
accreditation.
Yes.
When you say Methodist University, when you say a beatific the president for so,
okay.
When you say Valley View, and so and we are counting as a greenfield, Sunyani. So from 1 to almost 20, let's assume that if faculty produces only 100
students in
multiplied by 20, near 2,000.
2,000 students.
2,000. Law school. Well, me can't. You say me to me home. I went who says a problem. Okay, yeah, for 128.
Yeah.
And my demonstration by that was the time I was given the mandate to come out with a very bold solution. And I made a triple track class system.
Yeah.
So I'm triple track and I'm happy saying almost 1,100. And you're fine. But the backlog at the time was over 3,000.
Yeah.
And over 1,000 in Ukraine.
A drop in an ocean.
Every year too we are adding. And we can't stop people who are willing and desirous to study law. And no person, why do you put a fetter on somebody's ambition? Na me tio dumasi komu dumasi stop ambition. So my view is always that we have to increase access, of course, without compromising quality.
On quality.
NPP Manifesto pledge is simple. As I proposed then, the same we are proposing today. The law school as it is should be converted to a council for professional legal education to regulate it by accrediting almost all the
faculties.
Yes, because we may pretend we are teaching law at the professional level. We are not. I won't sit here and lie to you. We pretend we are teaching law, but the classroom, some of us, our teaching style is to make sure that we engage each student. It's impossible.
Yeah, go nipa ne doso.
A time has come. Once I BPA law school campuses, at the facility.
Yes.
My view is that, like others are doing, law school no. A Bayer Council for professional legal education.
Okay.
We are a Bayer Department for Accreditation, Department of Monitoring and Evaluation, Department for Curriculum Development, the Registry, and then the Standardized Bar Examination Center. Doing as departments we are. Sebi, say you accredit University of Ghana, just for example.
Yeah, example.
You accredit to Oma. It means they will school for never corner or they will have both the academic and the professional.
And the professional, faculty.
But be more. In fact, it may even become possible for a law firm which is very well established to offer professional because students are some co-intensive or we can offer them quite a year use of cotton.
Sure.
It developed that way. But the end result is that accreditation, so that they follow the regulations and the supervision
any curriculum
to ensure quality. We have a standard bar exams.
Ubia betrubi.
Uba now betro. Otro to say New York bar.
Yeah. Pass.
We call
you to the bar.
And no, sir, September, August.
Entrance exams.
At least a bayer, a bibia, a two-becha, you give everybody equal opportunity and equal chance to do it. Because they say, no, Ukra LLB. Why? And to me, the student, my friend, Ukra law. Aka, why are unya? You hold the law, why are no, commitment, you know, is simple.
Okay.
Let's convert
the Ghana School of Law into a council.
Yes. And for me, you separate legal education, professional legal education from regulation of lawyers. From lawyers. General Legal Council must concentrate on lawyers. Because council no lawyers.
Yeah.
Once we are lawyer, no more regulating. Minimum legal education. The Chief Justice be chairman of the council, whatever it is. But at least ubenya ebia, because unya lawyer, legal council. The jurisdiction should be for lawyers, discipline of lawyers, professional competence of lawyers,
and ethics
of lawyers. Then the Council for Professional Legal Education will look
at regulating professional legal education. Baba, and no, I get the point. It is a Ubi 8 year. The manifesto commitment for the NPP no clear. Nyameya domina se mutimi we need 2024 elections now. 2025 onwards, Momo plan they say the current Ghana School of Law mo pese mo convert into a council regulating legal education. On accreditation, on standardized by exams, on curriculum development, and all the faculties you see on running law at the Central University, University of Ghana, GEMPA, they would be there. On running on law, no, but they will be regulated by this council. No, they are prepared students. Not student natural 1 bar exams. O pass and ya call to the bar. It means say nya fe na was a Ghana School of Law kwadwen say ye ko expand campus be anyway. Faculties now will handle that.
Say crisis hand.
Sure.
Because we will faculty baby. So san control
entrance.
Entrance examination when you entry.
Yes.
They say no, but ye person exit.
Exit no standard.
So that the exit will be standardized. We make sure then no ground a cutting off this mushrooming because if you are not accredited, school for no professional, they won't come.
They will not come.
And mushrooming that's the way of standardizing and even improving quality. Because when you are accredited, I'll bet you
school.
Because answer about accreditation, vigorous accreditation process. I know the council. Because similar to what we have as a general council, we do the same thing. Make sure say quality
is guaranteed.
One follow a year. For Kenya, they've done the same thing. Every year they publish the list of all
accredited faculties
in good standing. So when you are blacklist too, in your black we are those schools in which you say your blacklist too, your students cannot write. The
standard bar exams, no. But I don't know me pacho in contemplating this, no. How many years will students spend at the faculty, for example, to be prepared for bar exams? No?
See, it's say as we speak. With the faculties, no, almost different.
Sure.
Graduate for no, only 3 years.
3 years.
SS for no.
4 years.
And because of that, you know, as all share, but whatever it is, say, you know, me, law, no, 5 years. 5 years, and yet the law. About 3 years, no, 2 years.
2 years.
And at the moment, you know, Ubetimi maintain because the real makers and say, you try and be a professional loan 1 year. Uncle year. Uncle Yama and Uncle Yentia reverse it 2 years. And based on that experience, let me tell you, I will prefer say be maintaining
5 years.
5 years to give people the competency that they need. And these days, you know, say we have young up and coming, they will need some a lot more time at the faculty and then prepare them well for the and depending on maybe obefa say any who start 4 year now so now we are 6 years so 3 years now be professional
2 years now I have 5
normal system now but what is important me say
you will be prepared for the standardized bar exams
usia na so utimia waba but so now passing now and no. You see, that was the proposal until the independent examination. That was the reason in 2009, somebody like me proposed it. As we speak, you cannot have a law school running, and then you have ABR, examiners BR. There's no synergy. Yet the in the bite say, near Junior say, you take the examination from the law school and give to an independent body. Independent examination to be totally independent from the faculties. Examination no more for standardized by a different from say be a law school. Yeah, from
certain questions.
Independent.
Real independence, no.
No account. Now because say we no and you say no. I'm going to even the bill. The bill. In fact, we proposed the bill. I drafted it even by 2015. Now and I'm going to the mind.
Sure.
2015, the bill was drafted. The regulation for buy examination was drafted. Accreditation regulations, they were all drafted. Because I strongly believe, say, with the board solution now, any ideas now, the flag bearer is now in way a meeting. Say, for once, we have to move from this veneer, knee-jerk solutions to very bold. And you say, can we maintain the system as we have for another 50 years? Can we? If not, the one that we had came 1958, a 7 year a lot. Time has come. Say yes, so the picture be rather than say faculty by county, we don't plan. Planning is important, and that's why I believe for those people to have the peace of mind. In fact, it is based upon the same thing ESQChairman Manifesto now say. In addition to the main law, there are so many people who are not interested in courtroom practice.
Sure. We hear professional way.
What they need is the competency. In fact, we have proposed that we will do also some other professional training to serve the industry. Also approach a solicitor, banking law executive. I don't know. Free banking bank. Those people will need so you have to also develop our system is one dimensional. One dimensional in the sense that we are producing everybody to go to court. How do we do it? We must also find a way to develop other secondary professional training programs that will serve the needs of people who will serve our industry. And also a
key part in the manifesto.
So that it's not only legal profession, it's now, in fact, it is diversified. But I know one way. We are as a pushing, but the time has come. Now we're doing other now they are back to improve and create other avenues for people who will not necessarily be in the court.
Very well. Mamenkai Muamuti as a message or question bima lawyer Maxwell Opoku Agyeman WhatsApp number ne 0548 443 523 0548 443 523. Mrs. Subi 0548 443 523. And we are law student, we are prospective law student, we are lawyer, we will be our interest in governance issues, in constitutional matters, or question be a man relative to the NPP's manifesto on legal and governance issues. I'll be to me Eddie Afa your WhatsApp number this wa braina mebusano. And lawyer with this, because there is specific promise in a manifesto, and some manifesto way is supposed to be implemented within 4 years.
How soon will this be done? Meaning say as we speak, The current director of the law school and say omo idea and I'm a council can say by 2015
yes
now you drafted the Council for Law Reporting Council for Legal Professional Legal Education Bill.
Okay. Okay.
Then the accreditation rules and regulations drafted.
Okay.
And now bar examination rules and regulations. So idea saying luckily for us when we a year constitutional amendment, when a year the work of the Attorney General in consultation with the General Legal Council to come out with a but a idea how we are may assure say say because ye September August September what the problem ne baba untiminda we are director of law school untiminda we are attorney general untiminda we are chief justice untiminda we are bar president untiminda we are parent of a law student untiminda how be and idea I believe say and here because the preparatory work has already been done.
Yes.
All we need to do is to have the will and then the mandate in order to go ahead. And
if you ask counsel, if you ask students your various faculties this is here, the experience the quality in the faculties no or morty. I mean, especially on where weekend courses now, we call lectures, lecture and ma me kwe ye na way na online or chana. Me I'm quite so bamon train me obe do class wa bre akabe 30 minutes. Inti really student be literally go through in faculties no, having to do some extra new maybe to be able to even pass exams at the faculty and pass the entrance exams. Sisiana Yeko add the additional responsibility to the faculties. This time, almost say I run a professional course. No, are we sure? Say a best serving and well.
You see, education is a foundation, very important.
Yes.
So you child law school, you see it. It's a foundation you weaker. You how you struggle.
Yes.
To and nothing I'm can say what is important. Access and not compromising
on quality. Yes.
Say okay. Say you may some of the faculties, even with GTech for the
yes.
With lawyer lecturer student ratio, some of them even faculties will have to be closed down.
Sure.
And so so we know and now you have a threshold and a criteria. So your counselor, what you do is that you set up even you see the curriculum development, and ensure even those who are competent and qualified to be employed. Because if you are faculty they will use some luminaries to seek accreditation. But because there's no monitoring, we are aware of all these things. System must work. The monitoring and evaluation teams must work. The accreditation process must work. Compliance systems must work. As I said, in Kenya, even University of Nairobi, they close it down. So what to say? No, they would have fear. So compromise on quality. The publishers say, oh, these, they are not in good standing.
Kenya running a similar system.
Yes, right now. No, so almost
more standardized bar exams.
Yes, and the standardized exams, we are rougher. Nasa anko ya blacklisted. And if I never say teacher for no way. A teacher for no. The more we teacher for no your na beer faculty no. The other a competent lecturer, professional. But if so, why in such a way? Say, because they were 20, 20. I don't think all of them may. So you go in for the resourceful ones, even on pilot basis. As and when you take the power away from them, then you increase it was not going to be a wholesale say because maybe I starting this. If you start faculty, see, Lego by
sure.
Eco 2, Eco 3, and Sana Etoguma says Eco 20. We will do it in such a way, say the compromising because if you put in half-baked lawyers and so on, it's dangerous.
Yes.
But and also you won't do it because send your yes idea university for you no send you kebe close because lecturers problems no it's up to your monitoring and evaluation team to ensure compliance. Make sure say these are the caliber when accreditation with these people yes now obi afen we lost on there. Sometimes you take action but I no yentimi nyina so nka say otherwise we even take the risk and try because any be kura law school way say me sure say be a student be so they are not happy with output of I know say be san obi atie because be obi so about law school professional level no so feel say sinto but sinto there it's how widespread and how you monitor and how you force people to comply with a year with their
Baba again so no and still on teaching a teacher for a better no. I mean when you move from faculty level no na over Ghana School of Law ultimately say the quality of instruction no different. I mean, lecturers at Chadi or Ghana School of Law, with the greatest of respect to more faculties, no, who do about GSL lecturers, no, nim their experience, ni bibia was so kakra, esion more ain't we might not have a lot more lecturers like you. Well, a bit me survey all the faculties are esion running professional course, no. Well, that is a problem.
No, you see, universities based on terminal degrees for appointment as teachers.
Yes.
Law school professional relies on professional
experience. Yes.
So because of that, so they say in a choir, you are not going to rely on terminal degrees.
Okay.
The mere fact that you hold a PhD.
Okay.
Will not make you a competent person to teach the professional law.
Yes.
And now they say because faculties in the terminal degree, PhD, but law schools,
yes,
any PhD, you hear judges, people with a competent number of years in practice, to higher professional. And to woman, your system will because a video, you a year when we started law school, they didn't see any teacher for because it got to a point. We're only 9, but they say you have over 64. Where were they? They were in the system. It is how you create the opportunity
for them to come in.
But say who can say who pay PhD for? No, but professional law, our faculty, impossible.
Yeah.
And the council will not put premium on PhDs, but will put premium on professional competence. And to both say, Nimie no be different because I have no be a professional. To be bano na happy before, but happy bano na PBN show be but no say oh yeah very good professional. And then na a part of the accreditation process. And I be more timi akati some of these things to show the difference. And yet the same say be automatic way free her because you realize say PhD ni bi ho bia PhD crabia no but professional the premium should not be on terminal degrees but rather on professional competence.
Very well. Intimate lawyer Maxwell Opoku Agyeman and Aidin Komo, chairman of the Legal and Governance Committee for the NPP's 2024 Manifesto. Dan Zort says, Obi, great idea from lawyer Maxwell, but why are they not implementing it now? Obi question, I don't know. We say, Obi, good afternoon. Thanks to Opoku Agyeman Esquire and his manifesto members, or say I'm listening to him from afar. And also that what he's saying tells me that Dr. Bawumia is not just interested in becoming president, but he and the NPP want to develop this country called Ghana. Ofori Anthony or Lashibi Zone 2. This one says that, Obi, good afternoon. Please help me wish my mom, Mrs. Gladys Fosu, a belated birthday with lot of love from lawyer Fosu, your children and grannies. We say God keep blessing you. Thank you, Obi. My mom will be happy when she hears you read this message. Inti, Mrs. Gladys Fosu, belated happy birthday to you. Live to be 94.7 and beyond. We say, Obi, good afternoon. Please ask senior lawyer MAXWELL Opoku Agyeman, how would we deal with the backlog of entry into the professional law school? Or say into with this new policy, say obi na wie na LLB dada or train so be cross your professional obey.
Normally you do a transition.
Okay.
On say obey transition.
Okay.
As I told you, by 2019 2020 the backlog was heading towards 5,000, but say above from to about 3,000, which seems to suggest that if you start away cry, there will be backlog.
Yeah.
Therefore, the current law school, there will be a transitional system where it will continue to operate as we are having it, to have students.
Okay.
To go along with it, because you can't just stop
it.
In an academic institution, definitely you have maybe 3-year
transition period
for you to now what dealing with once you stop the production line coming in, you stop the backlog. So you deal with the backlog, which is not increasing.
Sure.
And then the others will be dealt with. So we are at least, but they say in the end, then backlog we've done our best. To be honest with you, between 2019 to now, law school for Akko to the law school is almost 5,000.
Yeah.
Almost 5,000. Because last year 1,200 were called.
Yeah.
Into almost 5,000. Because say I I'm for triple track and a crap ma. Say no minim the bay. And so yeah 2 no in your transitional period, so that you stop the production line to deal with that. Then those who are already in the system will continue and exhaust the transition period. Don't exhaust the transition period now. A time may even come say, even back to any of the accredited faculties to go and hold up to prepare to come and write the bar exams. It is allowed. You can go to them, they will prepare you. You come because of our traffic minimum be our traffic sometimes become difficult. You can go and then but the transition period will ensure say whilst you are preparing the framework, you don't stop the clock. You continue with the process.
Very well. Where's the Hiobi? Great submissions by lawyer MAXWELL Opoku Agyeman on proposals for reforms in legal education. Hopefully they are able to implement same when the party comes to office. I still remember his 10 boxes from NRCD 323. Great teacher by all standards. Hashtag EcoSystem. Alex Martinson Koforia. He's a part 1 student Ghana School of Law. We say Obi, my question is, how did he get the name Edru? Anyways, any lawyer Obi no the amount. Where's Obi? Are there countries where this proposal is happening? Larry Dogbe of the Herald newspaper and Odiwe Abba Larry Yedase. Let me see if there are other questions, and then we come to some other proposals or more in the manifesto. ESQC saying so the higher Sempa 94.7 FM. We say Obi, please, can't we run the ESQCA model of education where students go for their own classes and come and sit the exams set by the ESQCA, in this case the General Legal Council, Charles and Onodiwe Abba. But I think what this proposal does is similar to rather than say wow choir classes for baby This one, there's an accredited institution now.
Yes.
Yeah. Very well. It may patch say utia na still I be our question mi musaya ubetimi the message na for 0548 443 523 0548 443 523. That's our WhatsApp number. I'll be to do message Safa Swabray. Meaning say question will be ya no anafi yanko other ways.
The first one was why not implementing now?
Now.
You can your ideas, but power consummate everything. Sometimes without ideas are good,
FM.
but so uni backing now is a proposal, and therefore when you have the wherewithal, which is the power backing, then you can do it. This is a message that maybe we are all something that is laudable.
Yeah.
And because it's laudable, you want it to be implemented. And you know, say, without your backing, it cannot be implemented. So, as to why it's not, as I said, so these things we have been doing bit and pieces, but I think the time has come for this time to be very bold and we go frontal. Let's resolve this matter because otherwise, yeah, resolve near fast solution. Every time it will be recurring. Basa, you and I, it will be implemented. Why? Some of these things is everything has a season.
Sure.
Everything has a season.
Sure.
This is the season, and if this is the season, then you make the season happen.
The season happen very well. The next question I would jot here.
Or say countries,
Waka Kenya.
Yes, now can well, even says UK, who's a law schools.
Sure.
Right there, so why England and Wales,
yes.
Day idea and buy and then almost be a year to say, and yes, a Birmingham law school a year. I got your way. America, they almost started because America, they are College of Law. A common. But let me tell you, say, Sa system, San and Ghana. In fact, until 1966, that was the program, the system in Ghana.
Oh, okay.
Some of our seniors, my law school, in fact, that was Ghana system. Ghana system, no baby, yes.
Both the professional,
sometimes you're close to law school, you're close to law school, you don't want to back to the faculty. But that is the reason why under Act 32, it is only Act 32 is the dean of the faculty of law, who is the director of legal education in Ghana.
The faculty of law of the University of Ghana.
Yes. The director at the Ghana School of Law is not a member of the General Legal Council.
Yeah, he's not. Even now.
Yeah.
But the dean of the legal faculty
because
also.
On a director.
Sure.
That was the system. System where they pass it at 32. And no. Just that as time goes on. So it's not a new idea. Ghana. All what we have to do is now looking at the challenges. But survey be useful to us.
Yes.
By looking at if you say other countries, India, started this tangent. I believe we have to follow suit. And as you rightly said, the ESQChairman model, just that we are not going to say sit in your
now
read your Frankwood and go and write. No, because this is a legal profession.
Yeah.
You know it. Legal profession, it's a practice, and it needs a lot of preparation, comportment, and some professional touch, which must be earned and learned. And otherwise, no, I said dentist. What's here? Dentistry, no them. Time was so to be seen, and I'll say, and the Lord, but the examination, the exit examination is similar to the ESQChairman model, so that you expand or open entry and close
exit.
At the moment, we are closing entry. You see, the system we have close entry. and as it is so difficult. I think what you are easy. But when you open entry without compromising quality, it means say and sana obe exitino. Now you have been tried.
You've been tried and tested.
So you give them the equal opportunity, but make sure say you don't dump in the unsuspecting public. Have big lawyers. That is the quality assurance. You have to make sure say ebebasu. But it's the same model. ACC again on base only examination, but not say will be untrefie now on cultural. And possible.
Well, so Obi, I want to congratulate lawyer Opoku Agyeman on the reforms they've proposed on legal education in Ghana. I think it's very comprehensive. Tell him that he should not abandon his friends in Worcester, Kwame Sam Tona, Worcester, Massachusetts. And anyway, about Kwame, that's Papa. Well, so Obi, please, tomorrow is my birthday. Kindly wish me a special happy birthday in advance. Into Master P, our London, happy birthday to you in advance. I can't wait to wish you tomorrow. Master P, our London, happy birthday in advance to you. I am run off away from legal, and I believe, sir, on legal education reforms, no, why exhausting your mom promising you know good. Apart from that, no, which other legislations and more proposing in this manifesto legislations maybe
let me say so constitutional reform,
yes,
and there's a lot of a year you be dealing on constitutional reform,
yes,
a bit to say even asset declaration, expanding it and making it not end of term review but update within 2 years.
Okay,
I know you be share. Then a bit to say we are governance, no. A day a board, and they say, and say 50 ministers.
Yeah, 50 ministers.
And no say no, the core, mathematics, no. Mathematics, and then they say, Ocean Constitution now it talks about 19-member cabinet, then other ministers.
Yes.
19. Says who did 19 at all. Now the first and ananke what 10 regional ministers, no. And 19 plus 10 now. Unsenke be 29. Unya 29. But I say yeah 16 regional. Sure. Enti ebe 35.
35.
Enti unya 35 now. Aka 25.
Yes.
That 25 now aka no. Enu
ebe deputies.
No.
Okay.
In fact, what is the essence? What is the essence of deputy ministers? Sometimes the footprint. What is the deputy minister? Will be now no minister can. So a whole lot of problem. But so ministers of state. There were other ministers of state.
Yes.
But the totality, because as for regional ministers, whether you like it or not, you have to. You have to. As for deputy, but there are other ministries in Swa. One person cannot.
Would find it difficult managing finance.
Those, but also simple idea. Now the intention of the drafters of the constitution can 19. So cabinet, at least with the 19. It would the I think it's feasible to have 15, where Crawford bears and Mubaka 50. Now Mafa personal assistant.
Anyway.
It's a commitment. You see, you need a leader. If you don't have the commitment, and you want here, but if you are bold and you are committed to a cause, say I want to run a lean administration. The current governance structure is too overburdened and unwieldy and is costly. Therefore, I want to do this. That is a commitment. Saudi based them and we are humans. It can happen, but I believe, say, it's not easy to come out to make certain bold statements and then also accept some of these things to go with public. Because integrity in politics, to me, is critical. A person who lacks credibility, sometimes it makes it difficult. So if you make a statement, you have to be able to fulfill it. To and defend. For me,
but don't you think, lawyer, say, on that specific promise of 50 ministers, no, say be a more further me who say these are the specific ministries are under Yebekriti. Based on that, it in you have 50 ministers to run.
You see, be sure say politics number of a year can change a lot of things.
Sure.
A time may come, maybe you have gotten to a point. Say because Attorney General, even though that is constitutional, it is your policy initiatives, and but they are critical because you can't do a government without finance. You see, but why do you have railways, highways, feeder roads,
aviation,
urban roads, aviation? Why? What I say?
Yeah.
Until there will be a lot of consolidation because water,
sanitation.
You see, until you realize your critical ones in there's nothing you can do about it. Your defense,
your health, your education,
your energy, your infrastructure,
your economy,
and digital. Because if you see, this government says digital, therefore, certainly the emphasis will be on digital. A ministry that will be digital. Then you say you want to create jobs and entrepreneurship and private enterprise. It means it is a key. So definitely you will have. And no, they come under the 19. These are the critical year or constitution. 19 and then the government comes and will have some priorities. There be creating some ministers of state to be to complement it. But as time goes,
but the position of the ministers of state, any ministers, no, 50,
including the 60,
including the 16 regional ministers. Yes,
it means the proposal is trying to do away with deputy ministers.
Sure.
So that is the direction. It's trying to, because minister of state, so when you're deputy.
Yes.
When you're deputy, at least also.
And the minister of states, no, if the substantive minister is not around, that parliament will be from the minister of state can represent.
So also, you are veteran as a minister.
Sure.
You are veteran as a minister. You even stop the year and say deputy Naba. Go. What I say. All these things and I think that I don't inform me. I believe say two parties, I'm say Baku is 60.
Yeah, NDC is 60, and I'm 50. Yeah.
At least plus 10 or minus 10. It means that we are building a consensus. Say, we can do with lesser numbers. We can do with lesser numbers. The two parties, I believe, say 50 and 60. 50 and 60. Bueno, the all can 50. No, this is the first promise. The first promise. No. Now, was member 60, but a second promise. So a secondary promise, because at a certain time,
sure.
But it's good. Sometimes we treat now koba utimu say that's the essence of the second promise.
Sure.
The second promise, Messiah we say the first me it is okay. That sounds good because sometimes we re-examine ourselves and come out better. But what I'm trying to say is but this one is a first promise.
It's a first promise.
And when you have a first promise and second promise, you look at sometimes what has happened before and then the second promise. You may decide, say, the second promise is better, or this one, let's try a first promise, because then you hold the person say, "Uban say no waka." We make sure.
But even though in putting some of these policies together, sitting around that table, I mean, you're professionals. I mean, in your own right, be a lawyer, be a constitutional lawyer, governance expert, any other. But it is a political document, and then we'll put it together. There is a political party air campaign to win power and form government. Did you consider, post-election victory pressure? Every partner about say, 50 ministers. Now, more consider as
in fact, don't forget, say, we are not going to. we want to have even MMDCs
elected, sure.
And no say
a camo proposal,
yes,
my promise.
We are going say MPP
most starting, sure.
Now because as I said, consensus building is important.
Sure.
And a collapse.
Sure.
With consensus and believe say obey. And no President Nwati an appointment so by 260 votes.
Yes.
Have you imagined party for said they okay 260 something? MMDC yes, we have considered all that. Obey manifesto one committee, nipa 25. Na I will say committee back home nipa 25. And the committee sing in a kabum now say 50. But you see, offering service to me are so many ways by which people will serve their country rather than sometimes you can offer good advice and good service so long as we recognize na even your professional way to me it is better. Obviously you can't satisfy everybody, even if they say cry away with a number of ministers and even DCs,
and you will be satisfied.
But okay, and if your flag bearer is saying, say, I want to reduce the size of government and make it leaner, once you buy into it, so say that's why it's the word you use, selfless leadership. Selfless. If you are doing this, thinking, say, and you mean member because a position it is selfish leadership. The manifesto commitment is selfless leadership. So whatever you are doing in selfless mode, but obviously, meaning say, do I have
yes
on paper but near you minister, no be so and so. There's so many ways that you can help in the development of your country and will be recognized. I know sometimes we also have to have that mindset. Say, you do and die. You are not going into this because you do and die. You are going into it to offer yourself as a sacrifice to make sure that Ghana develops.
Okay.
I may not get anything, but if my principles and my ideas are being implemented, I feel satisfied.
Okay.
Sometimes some of us, our satisfaction is in the sense that
why dear be out the buyer
and also your satisfaction.
Yeah.
But ebinum be unyanya no yeah. But say we are going to offer selfless service. Otherwise, we will not solve this recurrent governance issue where we have this baby. It's something that yes, but the leader national Bakachon say, Sabi, so wunya a year is Ghana first. If Ghana can develop with 15 ministers, Nasa a beer contribution in the minister. Name Ghana year, I believe you'll be happy.
Okay.
Since a Benya in Abaka ministers, Nanyamane Enkoyi, I believe so strong.
Very well. I remember this other critical point. So for constitutional review, the process are more firm, more consensus building. So at the end of the day, the specific proposals for amendment will come from consultations. But here we more critics are say more manifesto is silent on corruption. I say about one major canker how may which is corruption. No, this manifesto is silent on corruption.
That's it. Then you see, you have to read the document as a whole, and then have the intent before. Corruption is a major issue.
Sure,
it's always very serious. Corruption, you can't do away with it.
Yes,
but my main country say there are two ways of fighting corruption. We have tried one way and we have failed. You see, our corruption fight has always been creative.
Creative.
At
the end of the year, we have any
We want to cure. We want to cure until we pass laws. Laws like passing as Russia. Laws say abaya tisui see can laws on fighting corruption. Yeah, and Ghana ye say any laws no ye laws no papa. From whistleblower to right to information, witness possession, money laundering, OSP. Enti what pass away in every. Also, if I'm to narrate all, we narrate I pass it. Operationalization, you realize that there's always a problem. What pass OSP? I don't know whether you are satisfied. Maybe some people are not satisfied. Maybe why? Why? Because it's creative. They have operations think.
Operations think
and oral.
And I say oral abba.
Yes.
Operation retrieve or loot.
The all loot, no. Say loot be loot we. Ye loot we asa na ko retrieve. I mean so asemo. Me loot no. Me loot digu from.
When you build the stomach infrastructure.
Come and loot. Retrieve it. How do you retrieve it? From my stomach. So is it not better that I prevent you from
looting in the first place?
How do we fight it? Through preventive rather than creative. Because the creative always has been based on the enemy has done it principle. All our corruption fight, enemy has done it. Who is looting? So who is looting? Who do you determine to be the looter? Is it not the enemy?
Opposition, no?
You see, because when we are fighting corruption and this thing, always it's like any fighting prosecution. It is dangerous to have the enemy has done it syndrome as happened in the parable of the sower. See, the parable of the sower should teach everybody who is a lawyer and who is a prosecutor and who is going to fight corruption that it is not always the case. You remember the parable of the sower. When he said, you sowed only tares. Now, when you sowed a free, you know, Okogu Waba, a free woman, Sabanam Kai. Or therefore now.
Or therefore, the be fry.
Or therefore, without any ado. Or therefore now. Then they ask, my young concourse, sir. And also there be my mom, sir. Namuya sana and she ya. Nanyama panel so much. That is the problem. And to also be the sting is okay. Are you think after the fact? You retrieve after the fact. The into your passing laws nina. But it's not working. How do you prevent? You prevent through systems. You prevent through systems. Because so procurement in ya. Isn't the procurement system no one digital, one call e-procurement, one for systems now robust. The obey answer Odomako Public Accounts Committee. I don't know. Se corner yamwa wedi. Ojia untimi retrieve. But so system near so Ushe Dr. Mahmoud Baumia na more of systems. More of say if there's a gift miss, you improve giftness. All payments go through. Sabi uko board be API IGF kunkrofo bottom. Untrao man kom bottom and wasati committee to retrieve. So why don't you introduce digital payments, Momo payments, hospital fees, pay through Momo. Here they are, pay. Yes. But at least you reduce it. Let's have that mindset now. Let's change this mindset of the enemy has done it. We are going to so and so. That is prejudicial. Your mind is already prejudiced that somebody is a looter.
Obi a looter.
Yes. And unfortunately, politicians accept this one as if they are the looters. Meanwhile, those who are doing it, they are taking advantage of weak systems and taking advantage of it. We must prevent it. You don't fight corruption through creative means, because creative means is after the fact. preventing is more beneficial to the state. I prefer building systems to prevent corruption than going no wakoja. Wait, Fakane. We have passed the stage. That is, to me, when we are going to 21st century, we should change. It just say, they don't have
the tendency to be corrupt.
But it's the system. If your system would me build there, you prevent when at least, because if you are in public service, you realize that procurement
a major issue,
and it's not the politicians. Let them stop. Say I'm fighting corruption as if it's a football be passing. No. Let's come together, build a system like we are proposing. Let's propose a system that fights corruption, that prevents it from happening, rather than after the fact. It is difficult to prosecute. By law school, you have seen what is happening. So suspect it will be a discount. What I say? Oh, suspect it. Go and prosecute and win it, you lose. So, but to say, Sikadam Passy, some to me, go to court and get the money. But so prevent it, I believe in that, and Dr. Baumia believes in that, and that is the mindset. We must change from this, the enemy has done it syndrome of fighting corruption, and rather prevent corruption from
happening. Very well. Ekosi saying hi Asempa FM. We should be wrapping up. We say Obi, you see, brain is speaking. When the MPP says we have the men, we mean it. Just listen to the lawyer. He's too much. Oh, my neighbors who are listening are worried now. Mr. President of Denmark and anyway are praying. This one also says, Obi, my name is Ferguson, a post-call student. Please tell my senior counsel he's my mentor. I've told him before, and the reason I find the legal profession so exciting to join, God bless and make him live long so we can enjoy and learn from this legal juggernaut. Ferguson, anyway, but Ferguson, thank you. This one says, okay, Ono said, good evening, Obi. Even though the country has not reached where we want to be, but this current government has done marvelously well by giving us electricity continuously. Under this government, we haven't experienced shortage of fuel and gas. Vote for Dr. Baumia, Abacha, or Takrade. We say, Obi, I don't still understand why people keep on asking that question. Why don't you do it now? Don't they know governance is a process, and these are the people who don't plan before taking an initiative? Leo or Manchester. We say, Obi, I'm of the view that people can be allowed to read and have their private teaching and learning, to be given the opportunity to sit the bar as private candidates. Okay, on also na join chair or they are praying and no. But my final question, lawyer, would be, sir, what in the manifesto legal governance and excite you personally? I often say, okay, I've been yearning for this. Eventually, I call into a document a party be person or the year ejumemu.
Well, on the governance issue, no, is the comprehensive reform of even the constitution through stakeholder consultation.
Okay.
Because you spent money on it. A life not re-examined is not worth living.
Yeah.
They say, the footprint, to me, the footprint, there are so many of governance intrusion everywhere.
Sure. And
you can only have a very bold leader who will think that power now it's not easy because power they are there. And no any idea who say it's a refreshing movement so that now who say so they make it away. President in Kwa be okra nipa no appointing wo ayin only no and so oya bonin so a na de ato no so meanwhile be a this year okra wo hu da ye nyina ye nkamom ne hu se etimi agibi na ye de ko ba bia the checks and balances and ensure others will come in with a year. If you say ebeboa, enti enu sa bad because of the consultative nature now of proposal, because it is not something like the winner will take all. Into about was say the manifesto, the person ABC, but you can do it if munyina mo kabom, because constitutional
Sure.
it is Ghana's constitution, not any political party's constitution. And
sure.
It is whether you belong to A or B. I know the bar constitution me I work as a consultant at the first I know why there was because maybe now at that time if it had been very bipartisan, because ABI nominate will be from MPP. If it's all MPP, but it's not MPP nominate, no. It will be me MPP sympathizer. Now work of no. But some percent sabio would the NDC nipa or constitutional review you give it to the party. Let the party bring their nominee. And you will now over trust it. Now go find this in Libya, ABI will say, now go find a who the bar. A woman say, or a sympathizer there, but once a party no, or my genuine entry, that was the beginning of the problems. When that happens, I feel Bia, and Yamuna, but this is the time, whatever has happened, Yenina Kabumwa, the excitement say we will revisit, and of course, the legal education.
The legal education.
Because another day, a team is solved. Nanka, mekonana, what I have fought for, what I have prayed for, what I have killed myself for, what I have sacrificed all my professional from my young years to my retiring age. Something that I believe that we must do it to take this albatross from the heads of the institution, from parents, from students, without compromising quality. Without compromising quality. The first one has served us for over 50 years. Time has come to be bold enough to come out with something that can serve the future generation. With digital intrusion, who knows? So many things will come to improve the system. But for now, let's consider, say, what we have, the status quo, cannot serve the interest of the profession for now. Let's try and do it. And we can only do it if Obisi Munye, the only thing that can help for it to be implemented is to give the power to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Without it, he cannot implement. So then the second say, Muna Mokaye, who betra na you say internet and so and forget it. Who now be see her now kind won't say was obi the buy. When more abandon, I've written it down. When more abandon someone here.
Sure.
Because obi can say I say abuano say fidie ni chinwa
nisunko ejana
nisunko te bia say fidie acho enti na misun ye different. Na bia say charm number here. But I can assure you say I always say it in my class and I'll repeat. In fact, consistency is the mark of a credibility. And credibility is the substance of integrity. A person who is consistent and follow through whatever he says, that person is credible. And those are my philosophy. If you think you can do something, don't put your hand into it. Because credibility is important in this life. If you are flip-flopping and making statements based on the season, and you are not going to be consistent and you are not credible, if your statements today are inconsistent with your statement yesterday, first and foremost, you have to withdraw and retract and apologize before you make another statement. You don't behave as if you have never made that promise before. That is mark of lack of credibility. Such persons, they are not, in fact, if they are witnesses, we will say they are not credible witnesses because their demeanor may even give them away, as provided in section 80
of the Evidence Act. No, that's lawyer Maxwell Opoku Agyeman taking us back into the classroom law of evidence class. Lawyer that's papa. Nyami sorry, best answer din komobio. Why? Yeah, that's fantastic. Ekosi saying so ni higher sempa